So, hello everybody, my name is Carl Andersson. I'm a professor for pervasive and mobile computing at Luleå University of Technology. Our session is about 5G edge innovations for mining, and the speakers will introduce you to different aspects of introducing top-notch technology like 5G and edge computing for the mining industry. So we have speakers from both academia, industry, and other stakeholders that will go through what we are doing and the aims and perspectives. So the first speaker today is Mr. Peter Burman. He is program manager for mining automation. So please join me in welcoming Peter on the stage.
Thank you, Carl, for having me. Today I will talk about Boliden and our take on why 5G edge. To be more specific, the first part will be about automation, and then I will talk about why we can't see the sun because of all the clouds, and in the end, why safety systems are important. The first part about automation, most people that is working in this field area, we divide the automation in different levels. The first one that is well known, it is that you do some sort of improve performance on unit level. It is on a specific machine or etc. And then on level 2, then you try to optimize on system level. It could be on a factory or even a subsystem. And then we have the third level I will not talk about today. It is when you combine Internet of Things and big data. That said, this presentation is quite old, but I thought it was fun to bring it forward again. Already 5 years ago, Volvo claimed in the white paper that you could reduce the cost for transportation with more than 50%. Okay, that sounds really great, but that is optimization on unit level. It's only transportation. And when you look at it in one specific mine in the Boliden group, I made a calculation and came to the conclusion that we could reduce the cost on about 6% on every ton ore produced. I mean, it's great, but it's not fantastic. If you then move on and add other technologies, like in this case, a remotely controlled wheel loader from Volvo as well, so we can start to do the optimization on system level. Then the most important part of this slide is on the right-hand side, where you can see the blue part of this activity curve is more or less the activity level that you have. You can see when we have the shift breaks and lunch breaks. And if you can start to do bridge over in this area, then you can reach an improved productivity of 50 to 60%. And here you can see why it's so important to move to system level optimization. If you then move on to part 2, the digital strategy, or why we can't see the sun because of all the clouds. Chalmers made a report already 6 years ago when they looked into, I think it was 7 big Swedish companies, and came to the conclusion that 6 out of them had the aim for the digitalization was to come closer to the customer. But Boliden was an exception due to the simple fact that we only focus on the production because we are selling the commodity of all commodities, plain metal. So conclusion number 1, it is that Boliden is a customer of this new technology and we have no digitalization strategy. It sounds strange, but we don't need one because we have a very strict focus on productivity. In my job, the most fun part is that I have the ability to travel around and meet a lot of people in other companies. And when we had a digitalization hype 6-7 years ago, when I was traveling around, more or less everybody was looking into Amazon and Google, and they had figured out that data was gold. And then they talk about something that was more like into farming. It was about greenhousing, seed money, etc. And they all wanted to plant something that was growing up into the cloud because they would find a lot of gold up there. I mean, you can see the likelihood that this is similar to the story about Jack and the Beanstalk. But the problem with this thing that you want to grow something up into the cloud, it was when I was traveling around that all companies had the same strategy. And here you can see that it started to be quite challenging. I mean, you have a lot of beanstalks growing up into the cloud. And the problem for us as a customer, it is more or less fragmentation. You can look at this as some sort of data silos. And for us, that's why we make this joke. You can't see the sun because of all the cloud. Because in the end of the day, if we can't combine data, we can't address the optimization on level 2 and 3. We can only go for the money that is on the first level. Okay, we move on. Why safety systems are important. This is a new part of the presentation and something that we have figured out the last couple of years. It is the following challenge. It is to get robots to coexist with humans. And this is a huge challenge because this is what we are all afraid of. It is that we will get fatality, or even we have people that get hurt because of the interaction with the robots. So we try to play it safe, and the solution we have today, it is that we keep the robots and the people apart. And then we run into the same problem I've been talking about earlier on, a productivity problem. Because if we lock these robots into areas and don't allow people to move into that, then we have a logistic problem. Because we have this around the corner problem, for example. So even if we could succeed to build machines and robots with high integrity, they never know what is behind the corner, and they need to slow down because it could be a human being. Or it could be another machine from another vendor, because these machines don't talk to each other. So in the end of the day, when we talk about optimization on the production in Boliden, we always end up in some lean approach. We need to generate flow. And keep in mind that in mining, the ABC of safety, it is that you need to keep in mind that everything we are doing is dangerous, and you need to have good and valid safety systems. To summarize the first part, why we want to be a part of 5G Edge, it is automation, due to the fact that that will generate more money. And we also need to have the open data to be able to do this optimization. And we also must secure the safety of our personnel. It's very, very important for us. So more or less everything I've been talking about and why it's important with 5G Edge, you can see on the right-hand side in this drawing. Because here you can see that you have clouds on different levels, and that is really the key. Where are we supposed to store the data? On what level? And where are we supposed to do the calculations and the computations of the data? That's why it's so important for us to be a part of the 5G Edge project. And in the end of the day, you can also start to ask ChatGPT if you don't like my explanation. That was the last part from me at Boliden. And now I want to introduce Ivan Bretan. He is the project manager for 5G innovation networks at Telia. Thank you.
So, hello, and thanks for having me. I'm Ivan Bretan, working with 5G innovation within Telia Company. And Telia Company, for those who are not familiar with us, we are an infrastructure as a service provider across the Nordics and Baltics. And connectivity is our main business, but connectivity is not a purpose in itself. It's the value that we deliver to our customers in various sectors that is the interesting thing. And Peter Berman talked about optimization, and that is something many of our customers are looking for. Optimization of power distribution, for instance, within the electrical power sector, optimization of fuel consumption within the transport sector. And also, as Peter mentioned, safety is a very important area that we support through our connectivity solutions. So, why is 5G useful in enabling the digitalization of industry and society going forward? Well, if you look at this famous 5G triangle here, the upper part is basically the stuff that most people think about when we talk about 5G. It's the increased speed and the lower latency, so faster response times. And that's good. That gives us the possibility to improve existing services like mobile broadband, fixed wireless access, and stuff like that. But more importantly, especially for us who work with mobility for enterprise solutions, the 5G evolution enables new enterprise services that are packaged using so-called network slicing with guaranteed priority, security, integrity, continuity, basically allowing us to create logical networks within a single physical network. So dedicated networks or private networks, or what you would like to call them. These can be specific to various sectors or various sites and can be combined for different use cases. And I should also mention that 5G is pretty mature by now. So this year, across the Nordics, we expect to have 95% population coverage, and that will increase to 99% over the next couple of years. What are we doing with 5G and innovation in practice if we look a couple of years ahead? So that's exactly what we're doing. We are preparing for the future services of our customers. We help our customers to design their services that they will be selling tomorrow by providing them functionality which is not fully available commercially right now. We work with both the public sector and the private sector when it comes to enterprises, but also importantly within the ecosystem of academia, universities, the RISE Institute, VINNOVA, and other authorities, including EU projects. And here we do business and technical development together with our customers and try out what we come up with in practical trials. For instance, take as an example this AI-powered weed cleansing robot using 5G as a communication channel. This all comes together in our innovation network for 5G that we are building together with Ericsson as a strategic cooperation. It's a state-of-the-art 5G innovation and test platform. And the good thing about this, it contains the latest 3GPP functionality. Right now we're working with release 17 and we'll continue with 18, 19, so on and so forth, and always be a step ahead of what's commercially available on the market. So for enterprises and research institutes who want to try out the newest 5G functionalities, they can go to this network, which is basically a parallel network to the public network, where you have full freedom to explore all the latest functionalities. And you will be able to try it in a real 5G core. This is a full 5G core, full stack, supporting both 5G standalone, 5G non-standalone, and also LTE for backward compatibility purposes. So this is what we are aiming for together with our customers. They are invited to this platform to explore and prepare for the services of the future that they will be providing to their customers. So we help our customers to help their customers. Thank you. I will now be handing over to Evgenia Segerstedt, who is a senior lecturer within human work sciences. Thank you.
Thank you, Ivan, for the introduction. And I'm here to present gender equality work in 5G project. Being a researcher in human work science, I'm leading a project called EquiStream on gender equality work in academic environments. That project is founded by a Swedish institute and done in collaboration between Luleå University of Technology, WINNOVA Sweden, which is an NGO working for women's rights, American University of Armenia, and Georgian Institute of Public Affairs, as well as WINNOVA Center of Excellence situated at Szczecin University, Poland. So it is a research fact that academia tends to promote researchers in male-dominated technical areas, which negatively affects female academic careers and work environment for all the genders. So if gender unequal academia is a challenge, how can and how should it be addressed? In EquiStream project, we have been using those innovative tools for gender equality work to improve human work environment. One of them is called Generate Toolkit and the other Richer Business. They were co-created by the academia, businesses, and civil society together. They are available free of charge, and Luleå University of Technology has been using them for a prolonged period of time to improve human work environment with special focus on gender equality in several contexts. But how does it work in different kinds of academic environments? How do we find it out? In EquiStream project, we were testing Generate Toolkit and Richer Business tools in Georgia, Armenia, Poland, and Sweden, in the amazing environments that you see in the picture. And among those, I've been working in 5G Edge project to contribute with gender equality work. Through those activities, I've been working systematically and using the tools which are socially innovative and co-created by Luleå University of Technology in collaboration with other actors. So I started the project doing gender observations using Generate Toolkit to initiate active gender equality work in line with the project plan. As the project stated recruitment and communication as its priority areas when it comes to gender equality, I've then focused more specifically on those aspects of the project. Together, we used Richer Business Toolkit scenario 4, where we worked on which signals do we send, how to communicate our values in the right way. The tool presents a case, quite a provocative scenario on recruitment, which expressed a very gender unequal recruitment situation to spark the discussion on project communication. Does this project send gender stereotypical signals? What risks may be associated with that? After having had that discussion, which was facilitated by the provocative nature of the case, we could identify both the strengths and the development areas of the communication in the project. The following question, what can you and your organization do to send signals different from those communicated in the scenario, helped us see the concrete and detailed steps to improve the communication, which we later followed up and seen what the progress might be. My meta-reflection upon the testing as a whole, as a result of testing in this and other projects, are the following. Well, being the university where the tools are produced, we do know all the strengths of the tools, but we might be blind spotted to those disadvantages. So I'm very thankful for the exchange with my partners from Georgia, Armenia, and Poland, because the combined knowledge would help the international use of the tools. And the testing has already shown that it can improve academic environment when it comes to gender equality and academic work and environment in general, in more than just Swedish context. Building further on an existing strategic structure for gender equality work provides lots of advantages. So the structures that has to be built anew create a more complicated process, but it's still possible. And last but not least, having strategic ambassadors join you in your overall goal in practice makes a whole lot of difference. So, how do we change gender inequality in academia based on findings from EquiStream project and from the 5G edge case? It is by using systematic methods through gender mainstreaming, thus using activities towards gender equality integrated in the core activities of a given project or process, through contextualized knowledge, and through exchange and collaboration. And by this, I would like to invite to the stage Annika Svensson, project manager, the Center of Distance Spanning Technology at Luleå University of Technology. Annika, you're so welcome.
So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak about the 5G and edge test environment that we run here at LTU. Our 5G and edge test environment is part of several projects that we are running at Center for Distance Spanning Technology. Those projects are funded by Interreg Nord, by VINNOVA, the Sweden Innovation Agency, the Kempe Foundations, and the European Regional Development Funds. And we have set them up and we run them in collaboration with Ericsson, Telia, and Tietoevry. The 5G test environments are located in 4 different cities in northern Sweden, from Övertorneå in the north via Luleå, where I'm located today, to Skellefteå and to Storuman in the mountain areas of Sweden. We run both outdoor sites and indoor sites, and they are equipped with Ericsson equipment. And as you can see on this picture, you see the DOT system for indoor coverage. This is at the Innovation Hub in Skellefteå, the Great Northern. And these environments are open to any company, any researcher to come and test the services and the products that they want to develop for 5G. And so far, we have done tests both indoor and outdoor. We have had academic partners, we have had SMEs, and we have had large enterprises doing testing. And we are a very active test environment, and we do a lot of collaboration with the regional companies up in northern Sweden, and that is why the 5G Edge Innovations for Mining project is so interesting for us at the university, to try it in the basic industries of northern Sweden, to have the test environment really tried out and being able to develop the green transition in northern Sweden with our test environments. What are we doing in the environments then? Yeah, we work across the cloud, edge, and IoT continuum. And with this, we want to enable development of services and products in the 5G area. And we do that with the 5G test network. Obviously, you see the base stations in the middle. And we have the edge system, which we'll hear a bit more about later on in this. And we obviously connect to the cloud as well. This enables the development of services and products, which are improving lives for people and the opportunity to live and work and run your businesses in anywhere in Sweden and out abroad, of course. And I would like with that to hand over to our next speaker, That is Mr. Jens Eliasson. He is the founder and chief executive officer of the spin-off company ThingWave. Please welcome to the stage, Jens.
Okay, thank you for the introduction. My name is Jens Eliasson. I'm one of the founders of ThingWave and the current CEO. For us, collaboration is the key to innovation, and we aim to deliver technologies that can help make underground mines safer and a lot more energy efficient. We heard from Peter earlier from Boliden that with more and more automation, a lot more data will be needed. And this is what we're trying to achieve. And for us being a small company, of course, we need to do a lot of R&D activities so we can actually deliver state-of-the-art IoT solutions. And by collaborating with other SMEs, working closely with research institutes and also universities, and of course, large enterprises like Boliden, Ericsson, and Telia, we can really get a fast track to deliver this type of state-of-the-art solutions in terms of sensing and processing. Also, by having access to the new test networks here at Luleå University, we can do a lot more field testing of our solutions when it comes to 5G. So what we're trying to achieve in the 5G Edge Innovation for Mining project is really taking up the call from Boliden by providing different IoT solutions based on smart cameras. We're doing seismic sensing, digitalized ground support, basically to be able to deliver real-time status information about what's going on down in a mine to the staff at the surface. And for this, of course, running everything on 5G gives us high bandwidth and low latency, and also very good coverage. And all this is needed so that we can feed data from smart cameras, seismic sensors, the ground support sensors. So basically, we can give early alarms if something dangerous might actually occur. Also, by running on 5G, we can stream raw data streams from, for example, seismic sensors, smart microphones, cameras, and so on, with very low latency and good term synchronization, which is needed, especially for seismic sensing. So our contribution to this project is to use the 5G networks and deliver both sensor solutions, but also edge processing and advanced visualization. Thank you so much. And now I'll leave the screen to Hamid, Senior Researcher for Mobile Edge Applications at RISE.
Okay, thank you for inviting me. So I will tell you about the standard edge services and the role of those standard mobile edge services in facilitating of development of edge applications, so that we can see those applications everywhere soon with a minimum cost of development and also minimum competence from the edge application developers needed to develop edge applications. So in multi-edge environment, particularly if it is multi-vendor environment where different edge hosts provided by different edge providers, having a standard edge services are crucial to facilitate edge application development. Otherwise, the applications needs to take care of all those complexity to use different edge hosts and also complexity of dealing with the network. So one of the example of those services that can make the life easier for the edge application developers is a kind of a standard service discovery. Then application using this service can know to which edge host it needs to be connected based on the location and based on the situation of the network. So these standard mobile edge computing or MEC services allow an efficient and seamless integration of applications with different edge service providers and different network services. So they could be counted as a key factor in realization of a homogeneous distributed federated compute platform in the sense that they abstract away all the complexity of this distributed edge solution and also network. And as a result, the edge application developers could easily use this distributed edge host environment using only some standard APIs like REST APIs. But what are the key standard edge services we are interested in? I provide a list of those. Of course, it could be more, but they are the main one that we are looking into them. Application service registration and deregistration, service discovery, radio access information service, wireless access information service. These two are used to get the information about the network, if it is overloaded, what is the latency, and those information that can be used by the application later or by other services later to make some optimization. And location services using both 5G positioning service and GNSS, and also application mobility service. These two last services are particularly interesting for those applications that have these mobile devices, such as drone devices and connected vehicles, mobile robots, or smartphones that running some edge applications. So here we can see that if we have this device that wants to move and enter to the other zones, this handover among the edge hosts is needed, and also based on the location and other status of the network. So those services could make this handover smoothly and easier, regardless of too much information from the application. So here we can see a list of the advantages of those standard edge services from the application development point of view. For example, the edge-based application development is much straightforward if we have those standard edge services, and no effort for the development of those services from the scratch is needed, and application development cost would be much cheaper, and this multi-edge host environment can be easily used by the application, particularly in case that we have multi-edge providers. These services could make everything much simpler. And use of network function, if we have different networks like 5G, Wi-Fi, 4G, and different version of those network, those services could abstract all the complexity away from the application. And it could lead to higher reliability and make the maintenance of the system easier, and it's easier for extending if we want to add some components or features to the system later. So how we offer those edge services, the standard edge services, it could be through some SDKs for developers, or the by the edge providers, or by a kind of unified edge platform provider that is a kind of representative on behalf of all the different edge providers. But what is the vision of RISE for those edge services? We would like to offer those standard edge services as a part of the services we have on ICE Edge, and then we also would like to integrate those services within 5G networks, and particularly with the 5G testbed that we have at LTU, so that we can provide the platform for testing the environment for different SMEs and application providers. And we also would like to collaborate with other edge providers to make this multi-vendor environment so that the edge application developers can use this testbed as a kind of futuristic testbed to see how the application will perform in future in such an environment. Thank you.